to listen to my voice? শোনা যাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
Fine,
Yes
fine.
sir.
Okay, great. So I will start my part. It is over the first lecture on overview on metabolism. So we will be talking about overview of metabolism. So basically this is the first chapter in your biochemistry. It's actually metabolism, not biochemistry. So the first chapter, and it's a very basic chapter. And so with this I'll share my screen. Are you able to see my note?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the topic today is overview of metabolism part 1. So essentially what we are talking about here is what is catabolism and anabolism, what are the stages of catabolism, what is compartmentalization of metabolic pathways. We will be covering these 3 chapters today. Catabolism versus anabolism, stages of catabolism, and compartmentalization of metabolic pathways. The next day we will be discussing on shuttle systems and membrane transporters, and energy as ATP as energy currency of cells. What are coupled reactions, what are reducing equivalents, and what are cofactors, what is intermediary metabolism and regulatory metabolism. Basically this unit is, so you have to but you have to still study and you get lots. So this definition about metabolism I have taken from the standard Leninger-Nelson-Cox. So what is metabolism? So metabolism is the sum of all the chemical transformations taking place in a cell or organism through a series of enzyme catalyzed reactions which constitute the metabolic pathways. So the metabolic pathways are essentially a series of enzyme catalytic reactions, and metabolism is the sum of all the chemical transformations taking place. So what is metabolism? It is the sum of all chemical transformations, that is sum of all the metabolic pathways. So in this change, there is actually a removal, transfer, addition of a particular atom or a functional group. In some an OH is added, in some a double bond is added, so in some hydrogen is added, some sulfur is added. So all these things are categorized by the enzymatic reaction. So the precursor or the reactant is converted into a product through a series of metabolic intermediates called metabolites. So you have A getting converted into B, which is getting converted into C, which gets converted into D. So these A, B, C, and D, they are all metabolites. Now comes a term that is known as intermediary metabolism. So the term intermediary metabolism or intermediate metabolism, this definition has been taken from Wikipedia. It is applied to the combined activities, all combined together, of all the metabolic pathways Like A to A, B, C, D, E is one metabolic pathway. Then F, G, H, I, J, K, L is one metabolic pathway. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is another metabolic pathway. So all these metabolic pathways together, they are known as intermediary metabolism or intermediate metabolism. It is applied combined activities of all metabolic pathways that interconvert precursors, that is the reactants, metabolites, the intermediate A, B or C or D, the intermediates, and the products. The finally what the product is E. They are together. It is known as intermediary metabolism. So the word metabolism can also refer to the sum of all chemical reactions, sum of all chemical reactions that occur in living organisms, into like digestion, transport of substances into and between different cells. So in which case the set of all the reactions like digestion, transport of substances, respiration, uh, reproduction, all these things are a part of the intermediary metabolism. So now next, I've taken this part from the book Garrett and Grisham, second edition of in biochemistry. It was given nicely in this book, so I took it from this part. So metabolism actually it serves two fundamentally different purposes. The first is generation of energy to drive vital functions, important functions. Metabolism is needed for making energy. And the second is synthesis of biomolecules. The first pathway is energy, which you need something is burned to give energy. And the second is whatever food is stored, you eat, it's stored into carbohydrates, fats, lipids. It is stored into, you synthesize these molecules, it's stored into biological molecules. So to do this, there are two, metabolism has got two opposite processes, contrasting processes or opposite processes. One is catabolism and the other is anabolism. Catabolic pathways essentially are characteristically energy yielding pathways, whereas anabolic pathways are energy requiring pathways. So in catabolism, there is always energy which is released, and in anabolism, energy is required. Catabolism involves oxidative degradation of complex nutrient molecules like carbohydrate, lipids, proteins, etc. They are broken down by oxidation, either from the environment or from the cellular reserve, either from the food you immediately take that is broken down, or whether something from your store like glycogen and etc. is broken down into glucose. So, the breakdown of these molecules by catabolism, it leads to the formation of simpler molecules such as lactic acid, ethanol, carbon dioxide, urea, ammonia. So they are broken down into these products. Catabolic reactions are exergonic, that is, they give out energy, and often the chemical energy released is captured in the form of ATP. ATP is the energy currency. ATP captures this energy. Because catabolism is oxidative for the most part of the chemical energy may be converted into energy rich molecule transferred to coenzymes NAD plus, NADPH. So part of this molecule is converted into NADPH or NADH. It is also these are the source of reducing power of the cell, and this is also needed to drive biosynthetic reactions. Thermodynamics suggests that the energy necessary for biosynthesis of any substance, it should exceed the energy available from its catabolism. Otherwise, organisms could achieve the state of perpetual motions. keep on working, keep on working. So the energy necessary for making a substance, it should be energy necessary or needed for biosynthesis of any substance, it should be more than energy which is available for catabolism. So that means suddenly something breaks down and that energy is immediately if it's the same, it is immediately used to make another molecule. So the organism will never get energy. Only the catabolism and anabolism will keep on taking. Catabolism takes place, that energy is released, and immediately that energy is taken back to do an anabolic reaction, and that compound is synthesized. So constant. So you should have you should need more energy to make the molecule than when you break it. Otherwise, the problem, therefore, when catabolism occurs, at that time, that opposite anabolic reaction will not occur. Like glycolysis and gluconeogenesis, it cannot occur, should not occur simultaneously. Otherwise, what is the function? If glucose is broken down into pyruvic acid, and then gluconeogenesis again converts them back to glucose. So at that moment, it doesn't work. It works on, keeps on going. So the difference is that energy yielding nutrients, carbohydrate, fats, proteins, they are broken down into ATP, NADPH, into ATP, NADPH, uh, NADPH, NADH. So they are broken down. This is chemical energy which is stored. And end is you have energy poor compounds like water, carbon dioxide, and ammonia is released. In anabolic reaction, this energy is utilized, and small molecules like amino acids, sugars, fatty acids, nitrogenous bases, they are converted into proteins, polysaccharides, lipids, into proteins, polysaccharides, lipids, and nucleic acids. All these compounds are take the energy and convert them to these compounds. Here they say that anabolism and catabolism are not mutually exclusive. Interestingly, anabolism and catabolism, they occur simultaneously in the cell. So this conflicting demands of concomitant, when action, catabolism and anabolism are managed by cells in two ways. You remember glycogenesis and gluconeogenesis. First, the cell maintains tight and separate regulation of both catabolism and anabolism. Regulation of glycolysis and gluconeogenesis are different, so that the metabolic needs are served in an immediate and orderly fashion. So regulation is different. If ATP is low, then glycolysis takes place. If ATP is high, then gluconeogenesis takes place. It is just so tightly regulated that if there is ATP, only then the gluconeogenesis. If there is no ATP, then there is glycolysis. It is very tightly regulated. Second, competing metabolic pathways are often localized within different cellular compartments. For example, enzyme responsible for catabolism of fatty acids, the fatty acid oxidation pathway, are localized within the mitochondria. In contrast, fatty acid biosynthesis takes place in the cytosol. So synthesis is taking place in the cytoplasm, and breakdown, beta oxidation is taking place in the mitochondria. So this is how it goes. Now we will go to enzyme organization in the metabolic pathways. The individual metabolic pathways of anabolism and catabolism consist of several sequential enzyme steps. enzymatic steps. Several types of organizations are possible. Enzymes of some multi-enzyme systems may exist physically separate, soluble entities with diffusing intermediates. In other instances, the enzymes of a pathway are collected to form a discrete multi-enzyme complex. So it could be that in a metabolic pathway, this is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. You have one enzyme working over here. You have another enzyme working over here. You have another enzyme working over here. You have another enzyme working over here. It could be that they exist separately, like in this case. There is enzyme E1, E2, E3, E4 and E5. So the substrate, this substrate is converted to this substrate, this is converted to this substrate, this is converted to this product, this is converted to this product, and the final product is formed. So these are all, this one, this one, this one, this one, they are all metabolic intermediates, mediates. And they have enzymes which are located separate from each other. Or they could be like in the case of fatty acid synthesis, fatty acid biosynthesis. You could have all the enzymes E1, E2, E3, E4, E5 present as a multi-enzyme together as one unit, known as a multi-enzyme complex. So the substrate comes, it enters through all the enzymes, and finally the product is formed. So this is how the enzyme organization takes place inside a. So now we go to stages of catabolism. So let us say increase the size and understand what are the stages of catabolism. That is breakdown. Stage 1, large biomolecules, proteins, polysaccharides, lipids. The various kinds of proteins, polysaccharides and fats are broken down into their compartment building blocks, which are relatively few in numbers. So proteins, stage 1, large molecules, they are broken down into building blocks molecules like amino acid. Polysaccharides are broken down into glucose. Fatty lipids are broken down into glycerol and fatty acids. The stage 2, the various building blocks like amino acid, glucose and fatty acids, they are degraded into a common product, that is the acetyl coenzyme A. So acetyl coenzyme, the amino acids also they get converted into a common product. It can be as acetyl coenzyme A or pyruvate. The glucose via glycolysis also can get converted into pyruvate and acetyl coenzyme A, or the glycerol and fatty acids, they can also get converted into pyruvate and acetyl coenzyme A. This is the common degradation product, acetyl coenzyme A. And the stage 3 of catabolism. Catabolism converges by the citric acid cycle to three principal end products: water, carbon dioxide, and ammonia. So acetyl coenzyme A enters into the citric acid cycle. So this is the entry point of your protein, lipid, as well as your carbohydrate metabolism. Then oxidative phosphorylation makes water. Urea cycle, you get ammonia. Then from citric acid cycle, you get carbon dioxide release. So these are the stages of catabolism. So if they ask you the question, this is stage 1, this is stage 2, this is stage 3. These are the three stages of catabolism. Next comes compartmentalization. It is very important. All the metabolic pathways are compartmentalized within the cell. In the mitochondria, you have citric acid cycle electron transport chain taking place inside the mitochondria. But the glycolysis is taking place in the cytoplasm. So this is known as compartmentalization. You have to study a few. This is very important that the enzymes are separated from each other, because otherwise if there is if they are not separated by for example, if in the same room you study, you cannot study, and in the same room you cannot play, because all your study books and all are in one room, and your all your games and all are there in another room. So it is something like this. You cannot eat in the toilet, because the toilet is for toilet purposes, and your eating for food is eaten in the dining table. So for this reason, similarly, your metabolic processes are compartmentalized in different organelles. For example, mitochondria is the energy powerhouse, ATP production powerhouse. So your citric acid cycle as well as electron transport chain, they have to take place inside the mitochondria to release energy. If it takes place in the cytoplasm, then you won't perhaps not get much energy. It will mix with glycolysis. So this is compartmentalization. Here you can find, I've already posted this note in the Google Classroom, that the different compartmentalization which takes place, it's all present. So with this, I stop my class today. Do you people have got any questions? I will be happy to answer them. Please feel free to ask questions. Moniditya, question?
No, sir.
No questions. সম্ভবই আছে? সম্ভবই?
হ্যাঁ স্যার আছে।
এটা পড়ে নি।
আচ্ছা, পড়ে নেবে, ঠিক আছে, নোটস গুলো দিয়ে দিয়েছি, ভালো করে পড়ে নিও। হ্যাঁ, পরের দিনেরটাও পড়ে নিও। You read all the 4 notes which I've given, and I've also given from Khan Academy their website link. You can see that video very nicely, simply it is explained over there. You could go through those videos, and if you have questions, write a WhatsApp, or you can even ask me. Okay, I'm ending my... হ্যাঁ বলো।
বলছিলাম যে এর মধ্যে যতগুলো সাইকেল আছে, একটা মাইটোকন্ড্রিয়ার ভেতরে চলে আর একটা বাইরে চলে, যে সাইকেলগুলো, তো ওগুলো কি কম্বাইন্ড ওয়েতে লিখতে হবে? মানে এক্সামে যখন যদি কোয়েশ্চেন আসে, তো ওগুলো কি মানে কম্বাইন্ড ওয়েতে সাইকেলটাকে রিপ্রেজেন্ট করতে হবে, না লাইক আলাদা সেপারেট ওয়েতে?
They're separate. They're totally separate. Your glycolysis takes place in the cytoplasm, and your Krebs cycle takes place in the mitochondria. And there are next day I'll talk about shuttle and transporters, which will take the end products of glycolysis into the mitochondria. The NADH and the FADH2, which is formed during glycolysis, they have to be shuttled inside the mitochondria. And ATP, which is formed in the mitochondria, has to be shuttled outside into the cytoplasm, because most of the energy required things are taking place in the cytoplasm. So they are basically separate. Everything is compartmentalized. In peroxisomes, you don't have beta oxidation taking place in in the cytoplasm, because mitochondria is the ATP generation house. You have acetyl coenzyme A formed, and this acetyl coenzyme A, it enters into the Krebs cycle, and then this Krebs cycle gives products which enter into your electron transport chain. That is the NADH, FADH2, which is formed, it enters directly into the Krebs cycle. And this NADH2 and FADH2, they release high energy electrons, and this electron, it drives the production of ATP.
না মানে কি যেন বলে ওদের কানেকশন, মানে যেরকম আপনি এরকম
They
বলে
are connected, but they are separate.
হ্যাঁ, তো ওই কানেকশন গুলো কি ওরকম করে লাইক অ্যাজ আ ফ্লো সাইকেল টাইপের এরকম করে দেখাতে হবে, যে কোন সাইকেলটা কার থেকে কানেক্টেড আছে, কোন স্টেপে
Depending
কানেকশন?
upon the situation. If they ask you about compartmentalization, then you have to show them in different compartments. If they ask you the stages of catabolism, you need not show them as you need not show them as different compartments. You have to show them as how they are broken down into their final products. But situation er opore depend kore. Depends upon what situation you take.
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে।
Any more questions, anybody? No questions, then I end my class today. You will get the